I wanted to show you this piece, which I am definitely the one to blame for. I don't even know if I want to show you because it kind of looks gross. Hello my friends. I have done 2 videos recently discussing some popular MS pieces that I personally was pretty disappointed in, just because I didn't feel that they lived up to the quality standards that we all know and love Hermes for. But I figured it was only fair if today we discuss some pieces that were perfect to begin with, but then over time I was responsible for almost destroying in some cases, because not all flaws can be blamed on Hermes. So if you'd like to hear how I almost destroyed my Mini Kelly and some other popular pieces, just so you can avoid making the same mistakes, then please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and keep on watching. Let me start with a more random purchase, I guess you could call it, but it's one that I kept making a few years ago because I went through a phase of really enjoying Hermes caps, and there are 2 styles that are really well known in their men's collection. One of them are the so-called Riley caps, and then the other one is the Nevada, which you wouldn't think that there's a need for 2 different styles of really simple baseball caps, but there is actually a huge difference between the two. The Nevada is a lot less flattering in my experience than the Riley, because the Nevada caps have this thicker band on the forehead part, which if you have a rounder face, it's not going to look good on you. Trust me, I'm speaking from first-hand experience. Whereas the Riley has this, well, you'll see in a second, but it has this stitching going down right in the middle, which I personally found a lot more flattering on me. But I feel like that's enough hat theory for today. I wanted to show you this piece, which I am definitely the one to blame for. I don't even know if I want to show you because it kind of looks gross, but I bought this cap specifically for a Miami getaway. I felt that this color and this design would have been perfect for the beach, and it was. Except, long story short, I wear sunscreen every single day, rain or shine, I put my sunscreen on. So this story has nothing to do with sunscreen and talking you out of wearing sunscreen. It's something that you have to wear. It's good for your skin and it's good for your health. But I left the sunscreen that I know and trust and use at home. So I called downstairs to the hotel and asked them if they had anything to send up that I could use until I have time to go to Sephora, and they were kind enough to send me a huge pump bottle of sunscreen, which I used for a couple of days, not realizing that it ruined pretty much everything light colored that I wore to the beach and I wore out on that vacation, including this Hermes hat, which is the Riley cap in the color Ecru, which, as you can see, kind of turned this rusty brown color all around the edges. And I'm not going to show you the inside because, trust me, you don't want to see it. Let me just show you the label. So the label is supposed to be like an ivory off-white color. Well, as you can see, it's pretty much a rusty orange, and this is not sweat. This is nothing to do with me, at least I don't think so. This is all the sunscreen, because I do have some other hats that this has never happened to. It was only this piece and everything else white or light colored that I wore to that specific vacation. So I'm just going to put it out there. If you're going to take your MS pieces to the beach, you want to be incredibly careful with your sunscreen. And again, by no means am I telling you this story to talk you out of wearing sunscreen. You have to wear sunscreen. It's good for your skin. It's good for your health. So continue wearing your sunscreen, but make sure that you choose one that you can trust, because yes, it only destroyed a cap, a couple of t-shirts and shirts of mine that it came in contact with. But if this had happened to a bag that I took on that trip, which I think I took a Mini Kelly, I would have been a lot more upset. And in theory, it could have happened because I could have had sunscreen on my hands that I touched my bags with. So just make sure that you're careful with the kind of sunscreen that you use and that you test it thoroughly before you start wearing it with some more precious pieces on. At this point, I feel like most luxury lovers know and would probably agree that Hermes creates some of the most incredible pieces of tableware. I mean, if you would like to start your Hermes home collection somewhere, but you don't know where to begin, their plates are some of the best pieces money can buy because you can use them in the kitchen for eating, or you can use them around your home as little decorative elements like trays and trinket holders, which I have talked about several times before. But if I think of my own collection, plates are definitely some of the best investments that I have ever made. But what I feel like fewer people know of is that Hermes also creates some incredible glassware pieces. And the collection that I happen to collect and that I have been collecting for years at this point is their so-called interval set, which consists of four different designs. So you have this, which I believe they call the beer mug, which I just use for water. They have a shorter version of this, which I picked up not too long ago. They have a flute glass as well as a wine glass, all of which I own and love and would 100% recommend. But one thing that I wish I had known of, because it would have helped me keep these pieces in much better shape, is that you must use a coaster when you use these pieces, because as you can see, I didn't, and there's quite a bit of scratching and marking going on at the base of this piece, as well as on every other piece that I've had for a while, which I know it's not the end of the world. It doesn't actually affect the overall integrity of these glasses. They are still super sturdy. You can put them in the dishwasher and not have to worry about them. And I personally will continue using them. But I'm not sure if I had a guest over if I would feel comfortable handing them a drink in this glass, because the fact that the base is so scratched up just makes it look and feel kind of dirty. So I'm just going to put it out there. Would I recommend these glasses? Yes, 1000%, but make sure that you get your coaster game together at the same time, because if you want these pieces to last a lot longer and stay in great shape, coasters are a must. I feel like I have been pretty open about the sort of love and hate relationship that I have going on with box, which I know is a controversial topic considering that some Hermes collectors claim that box leather is their holy grail. It's the leather that they couldn't live without. Yet there is a group of people who very much dislike box, actually for the same reasons people love it for, which is the fact that box is a heritage skin that's been around for over 100 years at this point. It is extremely robust, it's heavy duty, it has a luxurious, high shine, super polished finish to it, which also means that it's quite finicky to use, it's prone to scratches and marks, and it also develops something called patina, which basically just leads to a change in color, texture, and finish after quite a bit of use. And it's something that some people will enjoy while others will very much dislike. And I happen to fall in the middle. I think it really depends on the kind of piece that you're going to buy in box. And I wanted to show you one piece that I know I shouldn't have bought in box, which is the Kelly wallet. Now the Kelly wallet is probably one of my all-time favorite pieces by Hermes. If you want to start your Hermes collection somewhere, if you'd like to get an idea for what owning a bag is going to feel like, but you're not quite ready to pull the trigger and pay the kind of prices that Hermes will charge for their more elaborate bags, this is an incredible place to start because Kelly wallets just do everything across the board. You can use them as a wallet, you can use them as a clutch bag, you can use them as a crossbody bag. I mean, really the sky's the limit when it comes to these pieces. But at the same time, I must admit that I shouldn't have bought this in box, because when it comes to a wallet or an SLG that you're going to throw into your bag, where you have zippers, pens, and other pieces with potentially sharp edges floating around, those I can guarantee will leave their mark on your box pieces. If you have a close look at this piece, you can definitely see a ton of little scratches and marks, which at this point are quite shallow, but over time they can definitely get deeper. And I have taken this piece back to Hermes, I want to say a couple of times to get their feedback on if it's something that would be worth sending to the spa. And each and every single time I was told that I should continue using it and enjoying it, because all of these are part of the character of the bag, in this case the wallet, and I should definitely use it a lot longer before an Hermes craftsman is going to be like, right, it's worth your and our time and your money for us to work on this. Because yes, scratches and marks, especially if they are as shallow as these, can be fixed on box leather just because it's so robust. It can be manipulated quite a bit by an expert. It is something that will happen again and again and again, and there is nothing you can do about it. It's the name of the game when it comes to box skin. So usually what they recommend is that you use it for at least a handful of years, if not a handful of decades, and you only take these pieces back to Hermes once you've started noticing other issues, maybe with the hardware, the handle, or the overall structure of the bag. That's when you take it back to an Hermes craftsman. And if you get really bothered by these scratches, yet you love the look and the sound of this leather that has been around for nearly 100 years, that has stood the test of time, because it is a leather that will be by your side as long as you take decent care of it for a lifetime and more. I would suggest that you avoid pieces like this, so wallets, SLGs, clutch bags, or even bags like the Birkin that you can really only carry handheld, because you're going to handle these pieces a lot, which means that you will be touching them all over the place, and the natural sweats and moisture from your hands will not help the issue. So I would probably opt for a bag like the Constance, which does come with a shoulder strap, and you can throw it on crossbody and not have to constantly hold on. If you've been with me for a while, you may remember that I had a trick that I used almost every time I carried one of my Mini Kellys, just to extend the strap that they come with, because the strap on the Mini Kellys is 85 centimeters, which is just not the most flattering for someone with my height and my build. Even though I can technically put it crossbody, it quickly becomes really uncomfortable, and it isn't the most flattering either. So what I ended up coming up with is to put a Be Happy or some sort of a necklace or bracelet onto this part of the bag, and then attach the strap that comes with your Mini Kelly onto the hardware of those fashion jewelry pieces, which worked like a charm for years. That trick only ever went wrong, but that one time it went terribly. And I'm pretty sure I have told this story before, which happened a few years ago, but I still remember it as if it was yesterday. I carried this bag crossbody walking down Fifth Avenue, and I don't think I had too much in here, which even if you pack this bag to the brim, it's still not going to weigh much because it's made of Epsom, which is a light leather, and the bag isn't too sizable either, so it is pretty lightweight, which meant that when the Be Happy bracelet came undone, I didn't immediately notice. It landed on my feet and I accidentally kicked it, and as soon as I did, I noticed that it was my bag that went flying, and it didn't stop there. It landed on the pavement, it kept going, and as soon as I ran to it, I was like, right, I have to cancel my entire day. My next stop is either going to be Hermes to hand this over to a craftsman so they can bring it back to life, or I'm going to have to start organizing a Kelly bag funeral, because there's no chance this bag was unharmed. But to my surprise, nothing had happened to it. I couldn't even notice a single scratch on the bag itself, and it took me quite a bit of inspection to find that there was a little bit of marking and a few scratches on the twist closure, but that was pretty much it. And I know for a fact that if this bag was in another leather, if I had taken this bag in alligator or really any other skin, this bag would have been destroyed on the spot. So I'm not gonna say that this bag is bulletproof, but it is as close as it gets when it comes to Hermes. And To be honest with you, I continued using the exact same trick. It didn't stop me from using it because it was a lifesaver, just because I would have never been able to truly enjoy these bags without a longer shoulder strap. So that trick worked like a charm, but I did end up biting the bullet and ordered a longer strap. Was it last year? I think late last year that I showed you before. And I do think that it was worth the money, it was worth the wait. Yes, it cost me a few €100, but I feel like if you're going to carry these bags crossbody, go ahead, order yourself a longer strap, because that 85 centimeter strap length is really not universally flattering. You can order one that's 105 centimeters or 120, which I feel like you would only really need if you're really tall or if you enjoy your bags falling really quite low. Otherwise, a 105 is going to be a game changer. And my friends, this completes today's video on, what should we call it, Hermes pieces I almost destroyed or mistakes I made that I hope you won't repeat. I'm not exactly sure I'll come up with a good title, but I just wanted to let you know that not everything can be blamed on Hermes. There are some mistakes that I have made, just so you don't have to. But I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you back here with a new video really, really soon. But for now, bye.